Welcome back to the channel, Newberry Fitness family. My name is Charlotte O'Brien. This is my wife,
Danny.
Here we're all about empowering moms to transform lives and change the world. This is a part of our ongoing series called Mindset Monday. You ever feel like your head is just barely above water?
Do you ever feel like you're putting yourself last?
Do you feel like life is just pulling on you like this? Just tugging on you, making you sink deeper and deeper? My bad, it was kind of heavy. Okay.
Yeah. That's exactly how it could feel when you have the weight of everybody else on top of your shoulders, but you're neglecting yourself and you're putting yourself last. So when naturally you're the person that's always giving, or you're the strongest person, or the person that people rely on the most, you tend to put up a facade that you're giving to everybody else, but you don't need anything for yourself. And eventually what tends to happen is that you realize that you do need help, you do need support, and that by giving everybody else everything that you have in the tank, you're leaving yourself kind of helpless. So that's why it's important to set boundaries, and it's important to know to what level you can give, when it's okay to let people do for themselves instead of doing for them, and also, when people could be taking advantage of the fact that you're a helper, that you're a giver, and that you've always been there. Because not only is it hindering you, but you're also enabling them.
Exactly. There's a fine line between helping and enabling, and unfortunately a lot of people help in a way that makes people not help themselves. Makes people go darker down that path. Oh, well, they don't have any money and they keep asking me for money every single week. I keep giving them money. But what you don't realize is some cases, if you stop giving them money or you gave them a different way, they would find a way to have that money every single week without coming to you. But the reason they keep coming to you is they know you're going to say yes, and they know these people over here are going to say no, so they don't ask them.
Yeah, when certain people rely on you, it's because you've given them that expectation of they'll always be there. They'll always do it. It's only a phone call that I need to make, to get my way. And sometimes that becomes a pattern that you feel like you have to feel to be accepted by that person.
And you're never going to feel that enough. What you'll find, even in many cases, when you pull back, you'll see like an entitlement from the person, like, oh, so you're too good to give me something now. And it's not that at all. But you do have to create those boundaries with yourself. One part of the analogy I can give you for that is, I tell people all the time, you can't really help people when your head is barely above water yourself. So many times people are trying to pour into others and they're barely getting by. So if you were on the beach, let's say for example, and you know good and well you can't swim, and you see a person in the ocean drowning, and you go out there and try to save them, what's probably going to happen when you go out there and save them? You're going to drown too. Now, if you're a lifeguard or you're somebody who's been swimming very well for the last 15 years, and there's two people out there having a hard time swimming, you have a higher chance of still going out there and coming back, right? But what happens is when you go try to save a person, they're trying to drown, it's actually natural instinct for them to try to pull you down with them instead of you both trying to help me, both trying to get back. So look at that same example. In life, you got to first get to a point to where you're strong enough so that you can help from the overflow versus helping from my head is barely above water, now we're probably going to go down together.
And sometimes we don't realize the power that we have given of other people be in that position in our lives. So part of getting that power back is, how can I set healthy boundaries? So what are the things that you're willing and not willing to do? And sometimes that comes to the realization that these people have only been there, to be able to get something out of you. So a good way to do that is to, like I said, set those expectations and boundaries, but telling them what you're going to be doing and sticking to it. So it's a pattern that not only do they have to break out of, you have to break out of it first. Because personally, I've done that in the past, and it's very hard, to not guilt trip yourself for taking something away that shouldn't have been there in the first place.
You teach others how to treat you. So it's so easy to blame them. Why they always keep coming to me asking for things? Why they never reply to me? We put all the blame externally. What if you ask yourself, wait, what am I doing that's causing them to show up in that way? They're not doing that with anybody else, but they're doing that with me. What does that mean? They realize there's a weakness there, or there's something they can take advantage of. So now they're using it because they get to keep coming back to you for that same
Yeah,
thing.
and usually when you have that conversation and you say, hey, I'm not going to be doing this anymore, you'll see that either they pull away and they don't come back, or if they actually valued the relationship that they had with you, then they'll say, I understand, you know, maybe this was something that was going on, and you guys can find a way, you know, to not make it where it's one-sided.
If you see their immediate reaction is trying to shame you or make you feel bad, that's showing you need to pull back on what you're doing right now. And like she said, if the relationship is meant to be, it's going to be there. If not, it's going to fall apart. And either way, it worked in your favor.
Yeah, and sometimes it's even more difficult when these relationships that are one-sided are with family. You know, when they're people that are supposed to be close to you, siblings, you know, it's a little harder to detach from that because you're thinking, hey, you know, it's family, it's blood. But all of those relatives really do have a position and a boundary that you should set, even with your parents.
Sometimes it might just mean limiting your time. Like, I'm not going to give you as much time, or I'm not going to give you as much as I used to give you because I got to give to myself.
So despite the fact that it may be harder for you at first than it is for them, you have to be consistent with it and make sure that you're clear and that you keep what you said you were going to do. You're going to keep that promise to yourself. Not only are you teaching them how to treat you, but you're teaching yourself how to allow other people to treat you in the future.
So you want to start coming from the place of short-term pain for long-term gain. What might feel like it hurts right now is actually better for you as a person. It's also better for them. They don't even know it, but it's also better for even your future relationships. You now know how to move better in those relationships to actually build things that can actually lead to the future you actually want.
Yeah, you'll be grateful that you did. It's something that has been holding you down that maybe you didn't realize how much weight it was really putting on you.
You'll be surprised by how much further and how much faster you'll get there by letting go of some of these changes. On that note, that's the end of this video. New Birth Fitness family, we out. We'll be back at it again before you know it.